I know for myself, that was me. When I tell you my follow through was trash, I mean trash, big trash, little trash, trash can, trash dumpster. Get all the trash that y'all got. My follow through was big trash, okay? Hey mommies, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Mommy Chats Unfiltered podcast, and I am Shama of Mommies with Purpose. You already know, bridging the gap between mommies and their purpose all day, every day. And on this episode, mommies, I have a question for you. I'm gonna be a good sis, like I told you. I'm gonna be a good fairy god sis. And I'm gonna be checking you sometimes. Sometimes we have to check some stuff at the door. And I'd rather be accountable for doing that for you than anybody else. So nonetheless, I have a question for you. What is your follow through? Now you like, girl, what is you talking about? I am talking about your follow through ratio. And if you don't know what a follow through is, if you've been living under a rock all your life, no problem. I got you, my good sis. A follow through is the ability that you have to set a task and see it through to the finish. Literally, just for you to set a task, say, hey, I'm going to wake up today at 6 a.m. Did you or did you not do it? That is your follow through. If you didn't do it, you have no follow through. If you did do it, you follow through, you know? Keeping it basic, keeping it simple. Because the thing about follow through is that sometimes we think it's about the task at hand. But honestly, a follow through is actually a characteristic that we hold as individuals. It is a part of our character. You may think that not following through is just something so minuscule towards anything that you may have going on. But honestly, your follow through is one of the most dominating characteristics that you could have if you decided that you want to go through the purpose and the calling over your life. And it's honestly one of the characteristics that's mostly overlooked, or it's like an afterthought for us as individuals because we think it's just so small. But when you really look at it, if you really look at the characteristics of a follow through, you need that in every aspect of your journey. What are some things that you need to follow through for? You need that, number one, for your purpose. Are you going to answer the calling and just drop the ball whenever you feel like it? You need it for relationships, whether that's personal or business. You also need it for yourself. And let's dive into it and talk about these different aspects. When we're talking about purpose, there are things that you have to do. There are step-by-step processes that you have to take in order to get to the goal. The goal is great. You know, you may see the vision, have the vision planned out, but there are steps that you need to take in order to get to that goal. So if you do not have follow through, you are less likely to reach that goal. That is why it's important for you to be clear about the vision, about the purpose and the goal of the thing. Because follow through has a lot to do with targets. It has a lot to do with an aim. It's literally like, you know, you have a destination to get to and you turn on your GPS and it's just going, but you ain't moving. Your follow through is literally you not moving anywhere. So it's good to have a goal because you know where to go. But if you don't have the tenacity, if you don't build the endurance to be able to put one step in front of the other, you're less likely to reach your goal. You're less likely to follow through with that thing because number one, you didn't have a goal set. And number two, maybe you have a goal, but you just are holding yourself back. Let's talk about relationships. You need follow through to build relationships. Let's talk about it on a personal level. Do you find yourself to be a person where you be like, yeah, girl, we finna come hang out. We finna do this, that. And you are that friend who never shows up. Are you the person that always says, hey, I'm going to do something, but you never do it at all? Whether that's meeting up with friends, you hype them up, making them think that you about to come out and you ain't gone nowhere. Or are you the person that literally says, yeah, girl, I'm going to bring you that thing. 2 days go by, 5 days go by, 6 years. You still ain't bring, the person don't even know if you even have the thing anymore. Like, are you that person? Are you the person who does not come through with your word? You need that in business relationships. Nobody wants to do business with somebody who says, yeah, I'm going to do something, or yeah, this is what I have going on, but they see no result in the thing that you're saying that you're doing, or they see no come through when it's time for you to come through with your part or your end of the business. Listen, you need follow through to build healthy relationships, whether personal or business. But the most important follow through is yourself. It's important for you to have follow through for yourself because you learn to trust yourself a lot more. There were times where I found that I didn't go through with something because I didn't trust myself. There were times that I struggled when I decided to go for purpose because I never really realized that I didn't trust myself with certain things. I was great at starting stuff, and we're good at that. We're great at starting things, but when it's time to follow through with a thing, we just don't do it. You ever wrote something down and then after you finish writing it down, like you just feel a little bit less inspired than you did when you first got the thought? Because sometimes we know ourselves in that aspect. We've normalized the ability of writing something down, but then never doing anything with it. We just turn to the next page and write down the next goal. Or maybe sometimes we're good at writing it down, planning, but when it's time to execute, we don't follow through on that end. It starts out small, but then eventually what you're not realizing is that you're losing confidence and you're losing trust in your own self. Because now you've placed an idea or a vision of yourself in your mind that, man, I never come through with the things that I say that I'm going to do. Well, that'd be great. One day. Or I got time, or you fill yourself up with lies and things that hold you back. I know for myself, that was me. When I tell you my follow through was trash, I mean trash, big trash, little trash, trash can, trash dumpster. Get all the trash that y'all got. My follow through was big trash, okay? It was trash, trash, trash. And I didn't notice it until one day in my calendar, I went back to every month I do like an overview and to track my progress and things of that sort. And I went back and I was like, you know what? Let me look day for day. It's not until then that I realized that I either completed one task or I did nothing at all. I can count on one hand how much I did in that month. And that was the month where I had no progress whatsoever. Because there's no middle ground, there's no gray area for progress, y'all. Let's keep it real. There's either that you're progressing or you're regressing. I had to get real with myself, and I figured out there were some reasons behind why my follow through was big trash. And I'm going to actually give you these practical tips that you can take to better your ratio if you're struggling with a good follow through. The first thing is there a goal? You know, sometimes we can be doing great things. We can really be stepping out of our element, getting out of our comfort zone and things of that sort. But have you ever realized that sometimes you'll be doing something but you feel dissatisfied at the end of it? Or you feel like, oh, that was cool, but I realized that at a certain point in time in that month, I set no goal for that month. There was no target out of all of the tasks that I created, out of all the things that I was trying to do or the things that I did do. There was no end goal of that thing. Like literally, there was no destination for these tasks to land on. Like I said before, sometimes your follow through doesn't land because there was no goal. There was no destination. There was nowhere for it to land to. You're better off having a target than you are of just doing different miscellaneous things that have nowhere to land. And it can be discouraging. It can make you, even though you've done so much, it can make you feel like you did nothing at all. It will also help you save more time from doing little small miscellaneous tasks that you think are important, which could actually have not been done at all, or you could have spent that time towards something that would be more helpful towards the goal. The next thing that I realized, and the thing that I want to tell you, is that make it realistic. One thing that I realized about that calendar month was that I was filling myself with tasks. Literally, I am a wife, I am a mom, I am the leader of this phenomenal brand. I also still work. I still have so many things going on. And I was filling myself up with tasks as if I was a single individual. I did not count how many times, like in this video that y'all don't know because I had to edit, how I had to stop doing certain things because the kids acting crazy. Y'all don't know about this. I didn't count that in. I didn't count in how many times I have to stop in preparation of doing something or in progress of doing something because it's snack time, it's lunch time. I have to make sure somebody didn't terrorize the house. You know, I didn't calculate all of these things. I was just going about my day. So eventually I felt overwhelmed. Eventually I realized, man, I didn't make any progress because one task could take you a whole hour and then another one could take you probably 30 seconds. Who knows? You know? So are you being realistic towards where you are right now on your journey? You are a mother of 5. You are a mother of 6. You are a mother of 3. Give yourself some grace. You're also a full-time student and a full-time worker. Give yourself some grace. Make some more tasks that are more realistic towards your schedule and what you have going on. It's not making excuses. It's just making it more liable that your follow through would be able to come all the way through. And can you ask yourself on a real scale, are you jumping the gun? I also started to realize that I had tried to skip over some tasks that I needed to complete in order to get to the goal, but didn't realize that this is a part of the journey. It's a marathon, not a race. So sometimes because we have the clear vision and we can see the great thing in front of us, sometimes we could jump the gun and not realize that, hey, I have some other things to do. So now you're overwhelmed because you're filling yourself with a huge task, but you forgot that there was some things that were supposed to go before that. So let's start being more realistic. And the last but very most important tip that I would give you to better your follow through ratio is to remove the mask. What do I mean by removing the mask? You know, when I looked in that calendar, when I looked at individual tasks and I went down to why they weren't completed, I started realizing what really held me back. If we really want to be honest with ourselves, sometimes the reason why we don't follow through a task is because of our fears. Remove the mask. It's of your fears. Remove the mask. It's because you were so worried about other people's opinion about what you're about to do that you didn't follow through for your own self. Remove the mask. You were a little bit worried about your lack, sis. You were so busy worrying about what you did not have, but you didn't pay attention to what you did have and what God was about to multiply because of your obedience. Remove the mask, sis. Maybe you were discouraged. Maybe you're just discouraged because you discouraged yourself. Guilting yourself and feeding yourself toxic thoughts to the point where now you feel like you're not good enough or you feel like you couldn't do it. It's time for a heart check, because honestly, these things, all they do is serve as a distraction. And if you are also honest about it, then you can climb the scale of the other tips that I've given you. Because once you remove the mask of the distraction of lack, the distraction of fears, of opinions, of discouragement, or whatever the case may be that held you back, then you can go back and ask yourself, okay, now this task that I have in front of me, is it realistic towards the goal? Is it realistic towards my plans? Is it realistic towards my role right now and where I am in my journey and in my pace? Then you ask yourself, is it attached to the goal that I have at hand? Is it relevant to the task and the goal that I have at hand? These are the things that you can use and think questions that you can ask yourself to better your follow through ratio, because more than anything, it is important for yourself. You have to come through for you, because at the end of the day, no matter how hard entrepreneurship is, no matter how hard school is, no matter how hard that job is for you to get that promotion, no matter how hard it is to write the book, whatever you got going on your journey of your purpose, understand that it's only going to take you to do those things. A lot of the times I was discouraged, but after I get over that, I realized, Shama, you still got to go back and do this. Nobody going to do this for you. So it's better for you to get up under all of that stuff so that you can get yourself and position yourself in a better place to be able to follow through with it. You know, so it's time for us to embody who we are and who we were called to be. And a big part of that is building the courage and building the strength and the endurance that you need for your follow through. That is huge on your journey of purpose. That is huge on your personal journey and your personal development and growth. But that's all I have for you for today. And you already know, if you love this brand, if you love this channel, please go ahead and share it with another mommy or share it with somebody that you know needs to hear it best. But nonetheless, I'll go ahead and hit you back up with a brand new one. Thanks for listening and have a great one.